Joey Reason, bring it food shop.
Are you doing okay? Are you freezing?
It's
What is
it's
there?
chilly.
No heat in that room or what?
It's weak. It's weak.
Okay.
It comes in.
This is so much better for me. There's heat.
Yeah. Well, that's nice.
I'm going to do this from now on. I'm going to do the podcasting upstairs until I
Perfect.
get heat downstairs.
All right. One of our diabolical discussion page peeps, one of our listeners, asked us, we've talked so much about the good food on tour. They want to know what are some of the worst tour foods we've had.
Huh.
Can you remember any worst? I remember, and I've told a story, so I won't get into a lot of detail. My absolute worst of all time was Fazoli's.
Yes.
So in the Midwest, there's a fast food Italian restaurant called Fazoli's. It's like McDonald's, but you can get pasta and stuff like that. And that was where my ex-wife and I got horrible food poisoning on the Holy Rollers tour. We were pooping out like gelatinous green goo that smelled like fish. And we got super sick. And that was at Fazoli's. So that was the all-time worst place to eat. Another one that got us was we would always get duped by other bands. So the Supertones went through Green Bay, and the Supertones told the people are like, oh, the Insiders are here in a couple of weeks. And they were like, oh, we're good friends with them. And they were like, oh, what do you think they'll want to eat? And so the Supertones
sounds like how you picked your truck driver.
Yeah, exactly. So the Supertones told the great people of Green Bay that are putting on the show that we loved roast beef burritos. So we show up in Green Bay and we're starving. And we get these pans of burritos, like already pre-made burritos. And they're like fresh out of the oven. And we're like, heck yeah, man. Like burritos, this is going to be delicious. And we start eating them and like cutting into them. And it's like roast beef inside. not pot roast or something like that. Roast beef.
That sounds kind of good.
Oh.
No.
Well, when you're expecting Mexican food
in Green Bay, which is their specialty.
In Green Bay, as far away from Mexico as one can possibly be, is Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I remember we got the roast beef burritos, and then the next time we saw Supertones, we were like, dude, Green Bay said that you guys told them that we loved roast beef burritos. Like, what are you talking about? They were dying laughing. They were like, we got you. Ha 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 ha. And then my third one was you guys played, what was the place in Kansas City? Cup of Joy?
Oh, no. The New Earth.
New Earth Coffee House. Mm-hmm. You guys had played New Earth Coffee House before us. We were chatting with you guys, and you were like, dude, it is delicious. They hook you up with food. It's this huge spread. It's delicious, yada, yada, yada. So we had that date circled on our calendars. We could not wait to get there to eat.
Uh-huh.
We got there. They gave us steamed salmon. And we were like, what? And we got steamed salmon with steamed vegetables.
Okay.
Back then, I was not, still to this day, I mean, I love grilled salmon. And I like salmon like with sushi.
Steamed.
But steamed, I ain't down with. And then the vegetables were all steamed. So that was utterly disgusting. Nobody touched their food. Like, it was so gross. Nobody touched their food.
Oh, no.
Then for dessert, they're like, oh, we got dessert coming. This is the God's honest truth. Dessert comes, and I figure, well, I'll just fill up on that. Like if it's cake or pudding or whatever, I'm just going to eat a crap ton of it. The dessert comes, and it's a giant bowl that gets set in the middle of the table, and it's salad. Just
Steamed.
salad. And it wasn't salad of like normal lettuce, like iceberg or romaine. It was like the lettuce that was like, it looks like the stuff that you weeded your garden.
What?
And it looked like weeds. And so I'm like, well, if I just drench this in salad dressing, that'll be fine. Like, I'll just drench it in salad dressing. This will be my dinner. Like, forget, they called it a dessert salad. And I'm like,
No.
you're joking, right? And they weren't joking. And we're waiting for dessert to come out, and it didn't. The dessert was the salad. So I asked the dude who was like the cook for salad dressing. He looked at me like I was from another planet, and he goes, it's dessert salad. And I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Like, this is normal. Haven't you ever had dessert salad?
Yeah,
Eat
he goes,
up.
it's dessert salad. And I'm like, he goes, you don't put dressing on dessert salad. He goes, like, the greens are sweet enough. I took one bite. It was like I was eating friggin' dandelion weeds that I just pulled out of the lawn. And I took one bite. I was like, dude, I can't do this. So, like, I went down the street and, like, bought barbecue or something. Like, went to Subway.
Yeah.
It was
That
awful.
was a sketchy neighborhood, man. If you went down the street.
Yeah. And then, like, the next time I saw you guys, or we saw you guys, it was the same thing. We were like, dude, what's up with New Earth? You told us that it was good. And you were like, oh, it was. We had this. And, like, you went through all the food that you ate. We were like, oh, my gosh, we didn't get any of that. Terrible. What were your worst tour foods?
So what comes to mind for me is, like, one of our first tours, there's a fast food restaurant that I think only exists in, like, western Nebraska called Runzo's. And they,
Oh, great title.
yeah, everybody was like, don't eat there. You're going to get the Runzo's, which to me sounds like a challenge. So they don't have burgers. It's like, it was like a kind of bun with meatloaf and onions cooked into it. This is what they have. And they're like, it's a Runzo burger, but it just looks like this ball of, like, just a wad of dough. And everybody in the band's like, Reese, please don't do this. Which, again, sounds like a challenge.
Yeah.
So I did. I ate 4 of them. And it did give me diarrhea. It did.
That is awesome.
Spend a lot of time pulling over in rest stops.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
I remember on the Ska Mania tour, we played in Cleveland. Our 3 bands at this theater, and
yes,
backstage,
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, backstage looked like you should not touch anything or you're gonna get tetanus. Like,
Yeah.
it was just
The HIV.
like that.
You're gonna get the HIV.
And they got just like this whole spread of, like, those giant kind of aluminum trays full of Chinese food.
Oh my gosh. I
It was
forgot
all
about that.
questionable. Like, what is this? General something.
General Dave's chicken.
Dave's maybe chicken.
Yeah. Reese, I haven't thought about that in 25 years.
It was It was so
It's the
bad.
worst
like,
Chinese
all
food
bands
I've
were
ever had in my
revolting.
life. It was the worst Chinese food I have ever had in my life. Hands down. I forgot about that. Everybody was just
Yes.
choking it down. Like everyone's like, this is disgusting.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It had that
was bad.
weird, like wet dog smell to it. Oh.
When you put it in your mouth, it was like licking a 9-volt battery. Like, oh, I think I just got shocked from this.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. What? Oh. What's the
Imagine
sauce?
eating that and
Earwax?
jumping around on stage.
Yeah.
Yes, General Dave's possum
Oh my gosh.
casserole.
I have not thought about that in 25 years. I think the 3, 4, 5 days after that, we talked about it nonstop. Like, guys, do you still remember that food? Yeah, I still have the taste in my mouth. And then my brain just shut it off. And I haven't thought about that till just now.
That's how your brain protects itself
It does.
from trauma.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh, you got anything else?
The other thing I remember about that show, which was amazing, was the runner from the show had to go get something, and it was like this super disgruntled older black guy, and he just came back with like this thing of super glue, and he's like, "I got your super glue," and everybody's like, "Oh," he was pissed. So everybody's like, I'm sorry, it wasn't me. And he's like, I got it. It's yours. And so he's like several people, I just watched them be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, damn it. Does all you white people look the same? I was like, this right here is worth all that crappy Chinese food we just ate. Like, just seeing this happen.
That was before racism was racism.
Like, he invented it right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
That's where it
man,
started.
I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible. Everybody was scared of him because he was really intense.
You're like, sir, I didn't ask for it, but I'll take it from you. And I'll even give you $4 for it. just so
Yeah.
you don't destroy me sometime tonight.
It was good. The other thing that I remember about tour was some band told us this, and I tried to copy this joke a couple times, but never pulled it off as well as they did. Or like when we first started touring, they were like, "Hey man, let me give you some advice. When you're driving through Texas, just keep your eye out for this place called Whataburger. There's only one of them, so you got to look real carefully. I think it's around Dallas. It might be near El Paso. I don't remember. When you see it, you got to pull over and have it. It's so amazing. And there's like just this one. You got to go to it." And we're like, all right. So we see it, and we're like late. Like, let's go get Whataburger. They told us, it was like Plank Eye or something. So we have it, and it's not bad. I mean, it's pretty good fast food burger. But then there's one like every 10 miles.
Right.
And you're just like, you assholes. So we tried to play that prank on a couple other bands, and they're like, oh, no, we've been to Texas. Or we are from Texas. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're all over. Like, if you drive I-10, it's that whole path. They're everywhere.
Just Whataburgers. I've never eaten there.
It's not bad.
I've seen a million of them, but never eaten there.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What other questions do we have? Do you remember any tour pranks?
Yes.
I have a good one. Let's hear yours.
I want to hear yours. Here
So
you go.
we were touring with Bleach.
Mm-hmm.
And Bleach would do this prank. I think it was Squad 5-0, Bleach, and us.
Okay.
And they would do this prank where they would, I may have talked about this before, where they would unzip their pants. They'd like unzip their pants and like pull their wiener out. And then they, like while you were sleeping. So like if you were sitting on a bench or something.
If you fell asleep at a show or in your hotel room?
Either.
Okay.
They would unzip their pants, get their wiener out, and then whoever was like sleeping, they'd rub their thumb. They'd rub their thumb on your lip. And then like as you came to, they'd real quick turn around and like get their wiener back in their pants and zip up their pants like really quick.
After you saw their wiener?
Yeah. So like you're in this like dazed sleep. You just felt something touch your lip, and then they're hurriedly turning around, zipping up and walking away. So
I feel like I would punch people.
oh yeah. So the guys from Bleach,
Jared and
who's it?
And Milo.
Sam. Yeah, Sam. So
Davey.
Sam did it to somebody in Bleach. He was like, "Hey, I learned this from this other band." So he did it to, I believe, Dave was the lead singer, right?
Yeah, Davey.
So Sam does it to Dave. And Dave is like, "What did you just do to me?" And he's like, "Nothing. I didn't do anything." And he's like, "What? I saw your wiener out, blah, blah, blah. Did you put it on my lips? That ain't funny, dude. That ain't funny." And Sam was
funny.
like, "Yeah." And
It's
Sam
not
was
funny.
like, no,
That's
Sam was
assault,
like, "Dude."
brother.
So Sam was like continuing to play it off because we were all dying laughing.
You were in the room?
Yeah. And so anyway, so Dave gets so angry. Like they don't talk to each other for like the whole show. So then they go back to the hotel.
This is before the show.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the whole show goes on. That night, they go to their rooms, we go to ours. The next morning, come down, everyone's in a good mood. So I was like, "Oh, did you guys make up?" And he goes, and Dave goes, I'm like, "Oh, did you guys, make up and do all that stuff?" And Dave's like, "Yeah, we're good. I got him back." And so
Jeez.
I'm like, so then I'm talking to Sam. I'm like, "Hey, how'd Dave get you back?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "How'd Dave get you back?" He goes, "I didn't. He didn't." And I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "He said he got you back." He's like, no, he didn't."
No.
So I go back to Dave. I go, "Sam said you didn't." And I go, "What'd you do?" And he goes, "Oh, he just doesn't know it yet." He goes, "I took his toothbrush and shoved it in my butt." So Dave shoves the bristle part of the toothbrush inside of him. Inside of him. And then puts the toothbrush back and doesn't tell Sam. Yeah. So Sam wakes up and just thinks that they're all square. Brushes his teeth. Brushes his teeth like it ain't no thing. And gets down and gets on the bus. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did he find out?
Did he ever find out?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
my
Sam,
gosh.
within like minutes, within 10 minutes, it got back to him. So then him and Dave were in another huge fight. He's like, I can't believe you did that.
I'd be
And
so pissed.
And then Dave was like, I can't believe you did this. And Sam was like, I didn't do it. It was a joke. It was my thumb. I didn't. He's like, I remember him like, he's like, would you honestly think I would put my wiener on your lips? Like, he's like, I wouldn't do that. And Dave was like, oh, you didn't tell me otherwise. So Sam had to throw his toothbrush away after he already used it.
Oh my gosh.
Throw his toothbrush away, get a new toothbrush.
Oh man, I gotta tell you the best Sam story. Besides that one, because that one I think wins. Sam was telling us that he was on a flight. Like, we were talking about bad flights that we've been on. And he was like, he got on the flight and he had to pee. And he was like, I'll just go to the bathroom when I get on the plane. So they get on the plane. They're like, everybody get in your seats. We're going to take off. We're trying to rush this. And he's like, crap, I got to pee. So he gets up to go to the bathroom, and the flight attendant just yells at him, like drills him. Like, get back in your seat. You're holding up the plane for everybody. And he's like, I really got to pee. And she's like, get back in your seat. We'll take off in just a minute. You get back in your seat. So he gets back in his seat. They start taxiing. And then something happens where they have to like park and start this line of planes. So again, he gets up and he's like, I have to pee. And she goes, we are in line to taxi. Sit your ass down. Yells at him. And he's like, I am going to pee my pants. I can't do this. Please. And she is like, no. Because like they can call the air marshals on you. You can go to prison like for messing with flights and flight attendants. So he gets back in his seat and he's on the window. And I guess he's having to scoot by this lady in the middle who's asleep. And then, I don't know who's on the other side, but I think they maybe had gone to sleep too because it was late. And Sam's just sitting there like, I am going to pee my pants. Like, I've never been in this much pain holding my pee. I can't get up. What am I going to do? Do I have something to pee in? And he doesn't. So he literally just takes his penis out. Like, he kneels on the floor, whips it out, and he's pinching it with one hand, peeing like in his cupped hand, and squeezing it off, and then like throwing his pee out in the aisle past the sleeping people. Like, what? Winging his pee. So his pee is not where he's sitting.
So he thought that was a better idea.
And flinging it out in the center aisle until he didn't have to go anymore.
So he thought that was a better idea than going against the lady's wishes.
Yeah. Like just pushing by her and peeing, or just peeing.
Yeah.
Just peeing on the floor there.
Oh my
Peeing
goodness.
in his hand and flipping it out.
Oh my gosh.
Sam is, I mean, that is legend.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That kid's crazy.
Yeah. So, I don't even remember what we were talking about. The
Pranks.
Tour pranking stories. We talked about on an earlier episode.
Oh, we did?
28. We talked about pranking Lou from Gasoline Heart, Lewis.
Oh, that's right. And then I think I told the story how the W's, I would always pull out their guitar. Oh, you're right. I would pull out the guitar cord, and then also Amber Lynn. I jacked up that guy's cab.
Uh-huh. That was
all
sweet.
right. Okay. So we'll skip that one.
Wait, hang on, I got more. In 5 Iron, we did have a prank. I never tried to get involved in the pranks because I figured I was the singer, and if I pranked people, they would just go ape shit on me. So I usually would avoid it. But there's always like the end of tour pranks, like the last show, you prank the other bands that you're on tour with.
Okay.
So we do things like put baby powder on the snare, so as soon as they hit it, it would just be like a cloud of dust that they were breathing in, the drummer.
Yeah.
Andy would do stuff like that, or put water on their snare or something. We had this ongoing prank war that we did with Ace Troubleshooter and Reliant K when we were on tour with them, called the spreading of the contents. Keith, I think, came up with this idea because he was always like, he wanted to prank people, but he was never heartless. Like, it was never mean. So he would go in the other band's dressing rooms and take everything out of their bags, but arrange it in such order on the ground in front of it. So like somebody's bag might just be like they threw in their old socks and whatever and a notebook and some food and like, you know, last night's set list and all this crap.
Yeah.
Well, he would take that and lay it out like on a grid, just precision. Or like Ace Troubleshooter would come in with their whole bags, like their whole rolling bag, because they'd be like, I'm going to take a shower at the venue and not have to get a hotel or something. But he would take all of their clothes and lay it out like each sock in a line, each shirt unfolded in a line, and it was called the spreading of the contents, and it became like super intricate, and all, like a lot of the dudes in Five Iron were doing it, and then they would do it to us, and then I was like, I'm not taking my bag into the venue, not gonna happen. So they never spread my contents, but it was pretty amazing.
See, I'm like you. I never wanted to do a prank because I always feel that when you do a prank, what comes back is worse.
Right.
And so like a nice fun little thing, like a nice fun little prank is always good. Like for me at work, I was working out one day there and I left my locker open. Someone went into my locker. The only thing that they did was the badge on my roofing uniform. They turned the badge upside down. So they pinned it back on my shirt upside down. That's all they did. So the next day,
catch it?
No. So the next day, I put my uniform on and I'm out working and someone goes, is something wrong with your badge? Like a citizen who I was like engaged with. It's like, is something wrong with your badge? And I like look down and my roofing badge is upside down. And I thought that was like the best prank. Like nobody gets hurt. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a big deal. It's just like a nice, subtle little prank. I thought that was freaking hysterical.
Those are the best pranks where it's like, it's just funny. And then you don't have to like clean up for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
I did a prank. Well, I did a retaliation prank.
Okay. So, did you knew who it was?
Yeah. So years ago when I was working for the Salvation Army, I was community center director for the Salvation Army. And it was the last day of our summer day camp. And I had kind of heard that a bunch of the counselors were going to ambush me with like water balloons. Uh-huh. Oh, no. I take that back. We were doing a pie in the face contest.
Okay.
But I had heard that all these counselors were going to attack me with the pies. So I kind of interrupted their thing where they were going to do it. I kind of found out, so I kind of ruined it. But one guy still decided to go through with it and came at me and tried to hit me with the whipped cream pie. I dodged it. I got out of it. But the fact that he tried it and he tried to get me, I was going to get him back. So he's involved. He was like a camp counselor. So he's outside with all the kids. left his shoes in the gym, like his tennis shoes, and I filled his tennis shoes with whipped cream. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I ruined his shoes. So, like, I just stuck the Ready Whip in there and just filled it up. But where you couldn't see, if you just looked at your shoe, like where your heel would go in first, that was empty, but the whole bottom of the shoe was filled. So he comes in, he puts his feet in his shoes, and like Ready Whip just squeezes out of every hole in the shoe. And he was livid with me, which he should have been. But I was just like, dude, you don't do that. Like, you know, I got stuff to do when day camp is over. I still got other crap to do. I can't be walking around covered in whipped cream and yada, yada. And I had to show him who's boss. So his failed attempt still resulted in him having basically his tennis shoes ruined. I can't remember if I gave him money for the shoes. I can't remember if I gave him like 30 or 40 bucks or something like that later down the line, but I don't think I did. But yeah,
you owe him tenfold.
I just
now.
filled his shoes with whipped cream.
I like, so I love, like, after the band, I'm still kind of a prankster. Like when I worked in the STBICU at UVA, the Surgical Trauma Burn ICU, my idea of messing with people, like, because I don't want it to be a big mess and I don't want people to be upset. So I would just take little Post-its, like the corner of a Post-it, just like a teeny, and I'd draw a picture of hamsters doing something. Like it would be a hamster as Batman, or after a while it got pretty intricate, you know, like, but I just hide them in places all over the unit. And so after a while, people were just like, who is putting these fucking pictures of guinea pigs everywhere? You know? Whatever. But it became such a crazy thing because people would be like cleaning out under like the thing that you do your vital signs on, and they'd be like, I found another hamster picture. Or they'd leave their locker open and I would just stick one in there. And it was like this cool, like uplifting thing. And when they found out it was me, the only thing they were upset about were they were like, this is an infection control issue because of the tape on the back of it. And so my boss bought me a roll of laminating stuff. And she goes, just put this over it when you do it. And I don't want to know about it. But I went back there like 3 years ago. So I hadn't worked there for like 6 years. And there were still some of them there. Like people got that much joy from it, they left them up, like above the doorway and stuff like that. And I was like, that's so
funny.
Cool. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. I'm looking at this thing here. What's your least favorite song you've ever written?
Boy, it could be Shadow of Death on the first Brave Saints Saturn album, or All the Hype. I'm gonna say All the Hype on the Fiverr and Frenzy, All the Hype That Money Can Buy.
Why is that?
It just sucks. You know what? Musically, it sucks. I think lyrically, the worst song I've ever written. Let me think about it.
For me,
What about you?
there's ones I don't necessarily think they're the worst, but I put a couple on albums that obviously, like, I'm singing about my wife, who's now my ex-wife. So you feel dumb for writing those. You know, like looking back, you're like, oh crap, that didn't turn out well. But I wouldn't say those are the worst songs. It's just they're uncomfortable and it's cringy now. I think the worst one I've done that I do not like is on Sinner's Songbook. We were just screwing around and we did this one called the Insider Shuffle. And it's basically a song that we did for, like, you know how when you go to like a wedding, there's like the cha-cha slide, you know?
Yeah.
two stomps with the left, two stomps with the right. You know, that type of song.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, we should do one of those. Like we were just goofing around, just being stupid. But through the stupidity, we actually wrote a song and then did it on the album. One sec, I'm going to sneeze here. Excuse me. And so we actually did it and then put it on the album. And at the time, we were just kind of like laughing and it was just kind of funny. But now that that's forever on the album, I hate that song.
Oh, no.
I hate that song. And then another one, I didn't write it, but one that I really don't like looking back, I really don't like that we did was the one that first kind of put us on the map. And that was the off Scalleluja, like Enter His Gates. I will enter His gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter His courts with praise. Mm-hmm. The way it just came out was just so childlike. I just really didn't like it. I think hearing that song was, I think, the first time. So we did Motor City Ska, and then we did Scalleluja. And when we did Scalleluja, there was a lot of stuff on there where it's like the way I'm singing, the way instruments are played were not the way that they were played live. And as like a young musician that was our second album or whatever, I think I realized on that album that like, oh, we did stuff on this album for the studio. Like we sound like on Scalleluja, we sound like this kind of insiders. But then if people come to our shows, we don't sound anything like that. Mm-hmm. So Enter His Gates was like that first song that it got so much play. And then we had a video for it, that like claymation video that it got played a lot. And I listened to it and I'm like, I don't sing like that, like live. It was too like overproduced. It was too polished. It was all, so I don't like that song. And then, but then as far as one that I've written, I don't like the Insider Shuffle. I'm embarrassed by that. And the one that you guys, I remember for the longest time, you guys hated, your whole band hated playing Combat Chuck. And everybody loved that song, and I loved that song. And it was so fun to just sing together, Combat Chuck, go, go, Combat Chuck, pick it up, pick it up. We all loved it, but it was one of those songs that I think you guys you had to play at every show. I don't know what it was, but I remember there was a time when you guys were just like, oh my gosh, this song.
I think because musically it's really simple. It's like two chords. And then, so all the guys playing it were just like, ugh, let's stop.
Yeah. But it would people would always chant for it and go nuts for it.
Yeah. Lyrically, it was something you can tell I was young when I wrote it. It's just it's not my favorite. But like, I don't know. I don't hate it. I never hated it. Like, I kind of hate Pre-Ex-Girlfriend off of Five Iron Frenzy 2 Electric Boogaloo, just because we were just like, we were gunning to get like a contract to be on a general market label. And so they're just like, write this song about like, this is your pop punk song, write it about a girl. And I was like, I don't have a girlfriend. And they're like, well, write it about that. So I did. And it's just dumb. Like, I don't like the melody. I don't like the words. I don't like the music. Like, I don't think it's that good of a pop punk song. It probably could have been had I been better with melody and wrote better lyrics. But, like, I don't know. It just, I don't like that song.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So let's see. Do you remember any names of the worst local bands you played with?
Oh man, I don't want to do this.
Why?
Because those guys, worst local bands. Let's hear yours and I'll think about it. I don't want to, because that's just mean. Like, they're local bands, you know, like they're
Yeah,
not.
they're local bands.
I can tell you the worst signed touring bands that we
Well,
toured
yeah, then
with,
tell me
'cause
that. So-
those guys deserve that.
So go ahead.
Skillet.
Why was Skillet? Why was Skillet?
Well, I just I do not understand why people like Skillet. Like this is gonna get me in a lot of trouble, but like I don't get their music. Like I don't. I just think it's just bad ripoffs of things that are popular. At first, it was like a bad impersonation of grunge, and then it became like a bad impersonation of like new metal, and then it's like, oh, we're goth, and now we're like rock and punk, and it's just like this machine that just seems like they're just trying to latch on to whatever was popular 5 years ago and become that, thinking it's still popular. I don't mind that though. Like that doesn't bother me. Those guys were cool back in the day. I remember like in 1997, first tour, or 96, our first tour, we stayed, like we played at the church that they all worked at and stayed in the rectory where they all lived. We got to stay in the attic.
Wasn't that
and they were all-
Memphis?
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool dudes. And we talked to them after, super cool guys. They're bros. Like it was very cool. And then that was my first impersonation of Skillet. And so I'd just be like, you know, like I don't think this music is anything groundbreaking or what they're doing is groundbreaking, but like I don't care because they're cool guys and like what they're doing is they, you know, like they work for a church and they are leading kids to Christ. So I don't, it's not my favorite band, but I don't care. This is great. I loved it for that. But then, you know, like it was like 2007. I got asked to host the like side stage to be the MC at Inside Out Soul Festival, which is called Soul Fest by that point.
Okay.
So it was like the alternative bands. So Soul Fest is like the New England Christian festival. So super cool, awesome, cool people. But I just remember Skillet was headlining one of these nights. It was like 4 nights. And they got there, they made everybody kind of clear out, and so their own crew could set stuff up, and they set up their stuff. And they took like 4 hours to sound check. And it was so long that nobody else who was playing that day got anything but a line check, or even maybe not even a line check. And they were all like, hey man, what's going on? And, you know, I'm just the MC. I don't have any power. You know, I knew the promoter, so I could go talk to him and stuff. But I was just like, you know what? I know these guys from back in the day. Like, maybe they'll listen to me. This is me in between Five Iron. So, like, I had no clout. It was just like, hey, I'm the old singer from Five Iron or whatever. So I went to talk to John, who's always in the news nowadays for saying kind of shitty things about other Christians.
Okay.
And I was like, hey man, do you remember me? I'm Reese. I was in Five Iron. And he goes, yeah, dude, totally. He comes up, shakes my hand, like grabs my hand with both hands, shaking my hand. I'm like, yeah, I'm the MC tonight. They asked me to do this. I just want to say, man, like, I care about you. Like, I remember staying at your church, like in the rectory. You guys put us up where you used to live, and I've loved like watching you guys succeed for all these years and do well. You came from, you know, like the bottom, like we did, and now you're headlining this, and I think it's really cool. But what I don't think is cool is that you guys just took like a 4-hour sound check and nobody else got the sound check. And I just want to say as a brother, man, you gotta pay attention to that, because those guys, you're gonna be opening for them someday. Like you're gonna turn around and this is how it's gonna be, or somebody's gonna be opening for them, and you want to set a good example. Like you want to show them that this is how to be a band. And he
Right.
kind of was just like, he kind of just shrugged it off and was like, that's what you guys used to do. Like, this is how it is now. This is us, man. We're headlining. And just walked off. And so, like, I don't know, like, he's in the news a lot lately because he keeps saying the shittiest things about other Christians, like how, like he was talking about, like deconstructionism, that the basically, if you're going through a deconstruction of your faith, that you're basically not Christian, or that you're bound for hell. And it's just this awful garbage that this guy says.
I'll have to look that up.
So Skillet,
So
I want
I-
to say,
I remember
based
Skillet-
on that guy's behavior.
I remember Skillet, same thing. And it's funny that what you said, because I've always thought that, but I've never heard that from other people. So Skillet, to me, like the insiders, like like 96, 97, we kind of did a lot of stuff with Skillet. Like we would play a lot of shows where they were there. And then they went their direction, we went ours. And that's the one thing that after that, I really never talked to the guys. I never had, and I think they even had a couple girls in the band. I never talked to them, never got close to them again, never disliked them. I couldn't tell you a Skillet song. I know they had some mainstream success too. I couldn't tell you one of their songs though, but I just couldn't. Whenever I saw them, I feel like every time I saw them, just like you said, they had a new shtick. Like
Yeah.
they were like this industrial band, and then they were, this something else. It was always something different, and that turns me off. There's another band that I know, and I'm not going to say their name because I am friends with them. But there's another band I know that they do the same thing. Like every year they change. And so when they like started off, they were like a certain kind of band. Then they became like a ska band, and we toured with them, and they were like a great ska band. They were really good. And then we stopped touring with them, and then they became this like almost like this like dance party, like this dance music.
Okay.
And like they got rid of like they got rid of most of their horn section and stuff like that, and they just became like this dance band, like almost like house music or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they changed again, and then they changed again, and then the next time I'm seeing stuff pop up on Facebook, now they're back to like being like 90s like skater punk band. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like pick one. Like pick something
one.
and go with it. Because your ska fans stop being your ska fans because you went to dance. And then the people who started listening to you because of your dance, now they stop because then you went and you did this other thing. And now you went and did this other, and you're dropping your fans. I think there's rarely people that are like, oh, I'm into ska, and one of my favorite ska bands is now a dance band, so now I love dance.
Yeah.
Oh, and now they're into, metal. So I love metal now. Like that rarely happens. I mean, I would say that never happens.
I think it's cool if it's authentic. Like the guys in the band are like, hey, we're tired of playing this style of music. Let's start playing this. Like the Bee Gees stop trying to sound like the Beatles and they become disco.
So I think when you're young and you're cracking into the business, there's like a learning curve. And I think you start off with something and then you kind of become better musicians and you're like, you know what? We actually like this style, or we do this. And there's an evolution. And perfectly fine with evolving as a band. And if you start off a ska band and you just evolve into just a good punk band, and then occasionally you have horns or something like that, or you evolve into a good rock band with horns like Chicago, so be it. But I think when you're doing the every year, you're not evolving, you're just choosing to go with a different look, a different sound, and you're choosing that, and you're still calling yourself the same band name. That's where I start to think like it's not genuine. Like, I like to think that, and I know this is a pipe dream and we've talked about it here before, I like to think that who I'm listening to has a history with that style of music and has a respect for that style of music. And so, say like Amy Interrupter. So from the newer ska band, the Interrupters. Mm-hmm. Amy Interrupter, her real name is Amy something, I forget. She used to be like a Christian artist. She was like a Christian singer. And she was kind of like one of those singers that she didn't write her own stuff. She was an entertainer and a singer. So she would sing other people's songs. And she tried, singing pop. She tried singing country. She tried singing all this stuff. And it just kind of didn't work. And then she got hooked up with the three brothers that are the Interrupters, or like two brothers and a cousin or something that are the Interrupters. I don't know how that whole thing intertwined or whatever, but needless to say, she becomes the lead singer of this ska band. Mm-hmm. She's now thrust into the world of ska music. She's working every day with like Tim Armstrong and Rancid, basically took the Interrupters under their wing. Heavily. And so like now Amy Interrupter, but the thing is, she's still dedicated to ska. Like, she got introduced to it late. She loves it. She knows the greats. She has the respect of ska and the history of ska. What I don't like is like somebody who, they were a country artist and now they're singing pop. But if you ask them about the country artist, they don't know who Hank Williams is. They don't know who Willie Nelson is. They don't know their songs. And then they move to pop. Then they move to ska. They don't know Toots and the Maytals. They don't know the Toasters. They don't know the Specials, Madness, Boss Tones. They're just simply doing it because that's what was cool at the time. So there's a difference when you evolve and then when you just go, we're going to pick this as a cash cow. And that's what I did always see Skillet. I didn't see them evolving. I just saw them changing with the times.
It seems ingenuine.
Yeah, it did. But again, I don't know them. Other than conversations in 1996, I mean, literally the shows that we were playing with Skillet, they were driving around in like a compact car with a little, the smallest U-Haul trailer you could think of, pulling that behind it. And that was it. Like, we met him in Memphis. The promoter of the show in Memphis was like a friend of Tony Weathers, I believe, back here in Michigan. So Tony and him would be like set up shows for like us and Skillet to kind of play together as we were like starting out. And then after that, they went their way, we went our way. And I think other than at festivals and stuff like that, we didn't see them. One last one, just a quick one, because we're at about the hour mark, is it's so funny when we were at the end of the line as far as the Insiders, and we knew that we were done, we knew that we were ending, and we were just bitter. We hated the record industry. We didn't like other artists, it became like a drag. The whole really fun 90s music scene in the early 2000s was ending, and the writing was clear on the wall. One of the groups that I could not stand being around was Relient K. And
really,
yeah, we would show up at festivals and it's like, oh, who's opening? Because we would either, if we weren't headlining, we'd be like second, like the second band to close, right before the headliner went on or whatever. And so we were always like, who's opening or who's before us? And if it was Relient K, we were like, oh no. Because the funny thing is, we looked at Relient K as these like fresh-faced, like punk kids, happy-go-lucky, like they hadn't been like trumped on their career. That they were like the fresh faces. And I think we hated just seeing like the optimism and the hope that was in their eyes. And so we were like, oh no, not these kids. It was like babysitting. We were just jaded and wanted out of there. And then they're coming in, they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are the insiders. Oh my gosh, Stephen Curtis Chapman is here. Oh my gosh, Five Iron's here. Oh my gosh. Like they were just happy to be there. And it's like you looked at them and you were like, I remember when I was like that. And I wasn't anymore. I've been chewed up and spit out by the Christian music machine, and they're the next big thing. So it used to drive me nuts. But then I got to know later. So then we quit, and then they came through. I believe it was you guys. It was Relient K, and you guys came through town and asked us to play. And great conversations with Relient K. They told us how they used to go to our shows, that they were driving home from an insider show when they decided, hey, we should start a band, and all that stuff. And so then when the jaded and bitterness of me was gone, and I would just see those guys as professionals and like good dudes and have a conversation, I really enjoyed them. And I went back and listened to their music and enjoyed it. But at the time I was just like, oh, it was like I was a babysitter. Like, yeah, I just wanted to sit there and do nothing. And, and then these kids were all like, this is awesome. No, this is awesome. Look how cool this is. Look at how cool this is. And it's just like, dude, this isn't cool, kid. Like, this is the Grizzling Road.
It's like when you went to Cornerstone and there was just like those 4 rooms that were together, and it was like all the old Christian rock stars, and they were just out smoking on the balcony, just like
yeah. Mike Rowe.
Yeah, I was gonna say all the guys from the 77s.
Yeah, Mike Rowe's just wearing like a Playboy bunny t-shirt out there, like smoking cigarettes, and you're like, oh my gosh,
what happened?
I'm joking, you guys. I never saw him in a Playboy bunny shirt. Something close. I saw him something close, but well, I think that's it, man. It is 10:30 at night. We're way past our bedtime. Patronizers, we're gonna bring this to an end, and we hope you guys enjoyed it, enjoyed the stories, enjoyed the freebie portion, all that good stuff. Keep the questions coming. Again, we're always looking for stuff. I have a bunch here to talk about next week, and that's that. See you. Pizza. See ya.
See ya. Joe.